Hey guys, I hope everyone's going really well this week. So, the topic of conversation is supplementation. So, a lot of you commonly ask about supplements, what to take, when to take it, and what is effective. So, obviously, me being a physio, I'm guarded by giving really specific advice, which I think is a good thing because I'm not highly trained in nutrition. I have taken some nutrition courses through my degree, but I'm nowhere near a level of a sports dietitian. So, what I'll basically do is go through the resource I refer a lot of you to when you're asking about information, and this is obviously the Australian Institute of Sport. They've got supplement guidelines. So, we're going to talk through some stuff, and hopefully, you get some information out of today that you can apply straight away. But let's get into it. So, I'll send you guys the link as well to this so you can have a flick through for your own right. And I think you really enjoy a lot of the stuff we'll go through because I always find it really useful to refresh for myself as well. So, the way the AIS breaks it all down, there is a few groups of, supplements they break things up into. So, they've got group A, B, C, D. So, these supplements are basically grouped up in terms of their effectiveness. Also, as we go along here as well, their safety. So, this one here is a group C, for example. Evidence isn't supported, and they don't advocate for these athletes to use these supplements. If we go into group D here, so these are banned supplements and they're not to be used. Whereas if you have a group A supplement, that's where the AIS says, look, we've got pretty strong evidence that these help, and then also their athletes can use them. So let's get into it. So the main group of supplements they're going to be discussing here is sports drinks, bars, electrolytes, and like mixed supplements. So with a lot of you, probably have my warm up guide. If you haven't read it, please do. As you came onto the program, I send the email through that has the warm up guide in there, and I reference the usefulness of having some sort of hydrolyte supplement, a Gatorade, Powerade, whatever it may be, to make sure you're refueling. So when we're sweating, we're losing the salt balance within our body, which affects how the muscles contract. So if you're having that imbalance, it makes it really hard to close out a good round, especially if you're in a really warm, humid climate. So it's first and foremost is having good hydration levels because peak performance is very dependent on that. And golf's hard enough, let alone being dehydrated, fatigued, you have a headache, and you're trying to have a PB. So definitely get into that if you haven't already. What I typically do when I play, I'll get two hydrolyte tablets. I put them into a 1 litre water bottle or sometimes 600 mils if it's really hot, and I'll just constantly sip on that throughout my holes. I might have two of those around, and also I'm constantly drinking water, especially on the hot days here in Brisbane. It's super humid in the summer, even the winter it's pretty warm too. So that's typically what I do. But again, it's going to be dependent on the conditions. When you have a Gatorade or Powerade, it's quite sugary, so keep that in mind. It's very carb dense. So if you're trying to keep your waistline tight, then probably go for the hydrolate as a better option. So as we go further down here, we've got medical supplements. So iron, probiotics, calcium, vitamin D, zinc, multivitamins. So I take a multivitamin daily. Look, I'm not sure if it's placebo, but I love taking my multivitamin. I get the little chewy ones. It's like a lolly, and I really feel upbeat after I've taken it. So again, there's probably some placebo in that, but I just have a standard one. I don't even know what brand it is. I buy it off the shelf, and it just ticks the box for the day, right? You want to make sure that your body has all these vitamins to keep your immunity high, making sure that your iron's not low, especially for you female listeners, especially as you're getting above the age of 50. That becomes quite a tricky balance. So make sure that we're focusing on all of these supplements and also vitamin D as well for bone mineral density and also growth hormone production as well. It's quite important. So getting out in the sun, not too much sun, obviously, but these supplements are going to just help, um, increase the amount of these levels that you have in your blood. Before I go too far, the word supplement basically as it is. It supplements your diet. It should not be your diet. You shouldn't purely take these supplements to replace other foods. Obviously, full organic, healthy grown foods are the best possible resource. Supplements are just an easier way, a convenient way to get these extra vitamins, minerals, proteins, whatever it may be, into the system. So I just thought I need to preface that because I don't want you guys leaving this conversation thinking, oh crap, I need to buy all of this stuff. If you're doing really well without supplements, then happy days to you. And if you're feeling healthy, your bloods are all good, then happy days. But for you that struggle, or are time poor, or want to just improve that little bit more, that 1% more, then I hope you enjoy this. So then we've got performance supplements. So we've got caffeine here, beta-alanine. We've got glycerol, creatine, sodium bicarbonate. So I think the most beneficial ones to talk about would be the caffeine and creatine. So caffeine, both pro and con. Golf specifically, it's going to get you engaged, but you need to try and test this. I played with Darren, who's in the group here recently, and he talked about how he doesn't have coffee before he plays. When we played together recently, he said, "Oh, I'm so jittery because I've had a coffee just before the round." So I'm in that boat as well. I hate coffee before I play. Some clients love it. It's a real try and test. When it comes to your training, though, I love caffeine. So I'll have a pre-workout mix which has caffeine, beta-alanine, creatine all mixed in there, which is great for focus. Beta-alanine is good for blood flow, and creatine we'll discuss quickly, but that's going to be good for global strength. So do what you will with your caffeine. So with creatine, I've just opened up another tab here because it's a really interesting supplement. It gets talked about quite a lot. Essentially, it's like a white powder. It's found in a lot of meats, and it's used heavily in a lot of different sports. So basically, there's a couple of different theories about how to use it. Some people take 20 grams a day for a week, called a loading phase. Some people just take 5 grams a day. What I do personally, I take 5 grams a day. I've been taking it for probably 5 years pretty consistently. I don't really take a break from it. It's just part of my daily routine now. It's quite cheap, and I haven't noticed one health effect from that. With that being said, though, you do need to make sure that it's not going to affect your body because everyone is a little bit different. Over the years, I heard of, one person that took it. He was a young gentleman, had some sort of underlying kidney issue, and he had inflammation from that to his kidneys, but that was a very rare condition. As always, you need to just check in with your own health. If you're going to take supplements, might be worth checking in with your doctor. Well, you should check in with your doctor and make sure it's right for you. So what it can sometimes do is cause upset stomachs, which, take as you will, can obviously have a negative impact to what you're doing. But for clients that have told me they've been taking it, for the most part, great. It's been one of the most researched supplements out there, so the side effects are very minimal. But again, please, if you're going to take it, make sure it's going to be suitable for you and you don't have any other medical concerns. So I think I skipped over it before here. But the most common supplement I hear of people taking, and I take as well, is isolated protein. So let's talk about that quickly. So essentially, protein is good for muscle repair. It's good for obviously building and maintaining muscle and also fullness as well. Because when we take in protein, it takes a little while to get broken down, whereas a carb supplement or sugar, for example, it gets broken down quite quick, and that's called the glycemic index. So going on from that, that's a little bit complex, but essentially protein, it's going to help you recover after sport. So what a lot of you should be doing is after you've played around, after you've done some practice or after a gym session, get a source of protein in, if possible. So this is going to help with protein synthesis, which is what happens when we've used our muscles, which helps you repair. In terms of doing that, there's a lot of contradicting studies out there, but try and do that within an hour of training. And for you that like to fast, obviously, again, take that as you will. There's a lot of other benefits of fasting that some people mention, whether it's focus or whether it's weight control. Completely up to you. I'm just going off the resource here and my own experience. I like to try and eat a few times a day, probably every 4 to 5 hours, just to make sure I'm feeling full. I've tried fasting in the past. It was a funny story actually. I was working in London at the time, and I thought, that's it, I'm going to try this fasting ago. And I normally trained in the morning. I used to have a big breakfast, and I went from that, just cold turkey, nothing. Went to the gym, went to work, and I felt like I was going to pass out. And I think that was probably just my blood sugar, like not being able to manage it that first day. So if you are looking at getting into fasting, probably take it slowly as well. Start at maybe like a shorter fast, build it up like everything, like our training. Um, I guess with the protein sources, again, back to this being a supplement discussion. If you can get whole foods in, happy days. Use whole foods first. If otherwise you're struggling with convenience, if cost is an issue, getting a basic protein powder is great for you. There's hundreds of brands out there. Don't fall for the silly marketing material. A lot of them are the same. Find something that's good for you, and find something that's going to be good for your long-term goals. I will say though, sometimes it can be quite high in lactose. So for me, I take a vegan supplement. Pardon me, I'm not vegan, but I find that better for digestion as well. That's just a little side note. Okay, so let's go moving on to the next group of supplements, Group B here. But if I were you, again, take away from this, go to the Group A supplements and take what you will from that. I think a lot of those are typically what I'll be using and recommend. So here's some other stuff. So menthol, pickle juice, quinine, ketone supplements, collagen support, fish oils, etc. So these are other supplements that, again, that you might want to consider. I don't actively use any of these. I've played around with fish oils before in the past, but my multivitamin part of me has fish oil in it as well, so that covers that base. These other supplements like ketones, if you are going keto, obviously that's going to be of benefit for you. Vitamin C, obviously, which I try and get in my my multivitamin. That's obviously important to tick that box as well. Some of those other ones I've never actually looked at. Quinine, menthol, I know is used in some sports. Pickle juice is along the lines of our hydration supplement. Helps reduce cramping as far as the research is concerned. But again, it's in the wind a little bit too. Going on Group C, so there's not much evidence for these, and the AIS doesn't advocate clients actively use these. So here's some other stuff like prebiotics, vitamin E, BCAAs, magnesium, phosphates, etc. So look, don't get me wrong, if you use these and you get great benefits in your belief, then carry on, but I wouldn't be proactively sourcing these supplements if I were you and you're interested in improving your performance. I'll be sticking to the Group A stuff if you're really needing to get into it, and then go from there. But again, takeaways, don't fall for the silly marketing material. Invest in decent companies as well. And I guess the keynote as well is try and make sure that you're timing it correctly around your golf. So when you're playing golf, make sure you have a good amount of carbs beforehand. So like a banana or a sandwich is fantastic. Throughout the round, have snacks, so muesli bars, another banana, nuts, things like that. After the round, taking your protein supplement or a protein source, and also throughout, make sure you're using an electrolyte and water to keep you on top of your blood control and hydration. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. I think it's an important one, and I get asked about it a lot. If you have any questions, leave it in the group chat, but I look forward to speaking to you all really soon. Thanks.